game against Cleveland is the first time they've met this season. And a season ago, Clark, they won the matchup, winning 3 and losing just 1.
And predictably, they came out on top in the season series last year. We'll see if it's any different this time around.
And look at the starters for the Cavaliers. Irving and Waiters, the guards. The 2 stars, LeBron and Love, at the 3 and the 4. And it's Verjao in at the 5, down low. And so it's the Cavaliers getting on the board first. Here's Rose. And it's good off the ball, rim and in. And as Steve brought up, the outcome of the series between these teams wasn't a surprise given how they, Clark, each finished the year.
You're right all over it, Kevin. I mean, there was success on one side and then the disappointment of missing the playoffs on the other side.
Here's LeBron following the score by Derrick Rose. James with the bucket.
I'll tell you what, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
Rose goes in. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face.
The height difference there is huge, but he canceled it out with great body control in the air.
Exactly, Steve. He got to the hoop and wouldn't allow himself to be manhandled by the big boy.
Now here's Verjao. James in the post. And he banks in the layup. LeBron's got his second basket of the night.
Now some weak defensive coverage there. I'm pretty sure they didn't plan on starting this game out like that, giving such easy access to the rim.
Here's McDermott. 8 points his last outing. Back to Rose. From the line. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
And I think everybody who was at that game would agree it was their defense that really won it for them.
Yeah, they were all over the place, flying all over the court on D. The kind of hustle that pays off big time for them. Kyrie Irving 3 seasons ago was the only rookie in NBA history to shoot as well as he did from the three-pointers, the field, and the free throw line. There's no question about it. He is an elite shooter.
Now here's Gasol. Turned in an outstanding game against New York.
They're still working out the kinks defensively because that was a blatant mistake.
LeBron takes to Waiters. On the wing, Irving. Back to Waiters. From deep. Cannot hit. So the Bulls will take it the other way.
Irving, super skilled, one of the league's best shooters, and would make a strong case for being the league's most elusive ball handler as well. Seems to get by his man pretty much at will.
James misses.
Typically, guys, he has the body control to finish when he's in that tight. I'm not sure what happened there.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. And now here's the 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's best teams from three-point land a year ago. Number 5, the Bulls.
Seemed like they went through stretches, guys, where they just didn't miss from beyond the arc, and that carried those numbers right up to the top of the list.
Bulls trail by 3. And Irving super quick with the ball in his hands. And when he gets to the basket, a master using spin and English to convert.
And Kevin, the story is that growing up, the hoop in his yard had a big part of the backboard broken off on the right side, so he had to learn that spin in English in order to bank it in.
I like that story.
Necessity is the creation.
Here's Irving after Pau Gasol's bucket on Lowe's. And James gets it to go on the assist by Irving. 6 points for LeBron. For Chicago, they've gone 50% from the field at this point, 4 of 8. Rose dishes to Gasol. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Gasol in 2013-14, Steve, with better health and a return to playing in the middle more often.
Yeah, he dealt with a few nagging injuries, Kevin, but scored better, rebounded better. Nice to see him show that he's really still an elite big after struggling a couple seasons ago.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. Dunleavy comes in for McDermott. And it's Heinrich in for Rose.
Now we get a chance to check out LeBron James. What a year he had last season. Averaged about 27 points per game last season. 6 assists and 7 rebounds. And I think the playmaking really stands out to me that he's been doing it. So many times the plays he can generate seem to change the momentum of a game.
I agree wholeheartedly there. I mean, it's underestimated what his passing brings to this team.
The layup missed.
Now, when he's trying to dunk that, Brady has scored all season long. That's nothing new for him. He's been carrying them for years.
And the rejection by James. And now the fast break. Marion with the ball. Here's Miller. And Gibson with the block. And they'll keep possession. They recover it. Three-pointer. And Mike Miller hits from deep. Miller's got his first 3 points of the game.
Good open look, and he splashes home the three.
Bulls trailed by 5.
Powell last season making $20 million a year. Hard for the Lakers to trade him. Wanted cap space. In the end, he found a new home and a new start in free agency.
They get it back. And Dunleavy gets it to go in.
And the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
54 seconds left here in the first quarter. LeBron passes to Miller. He dishes it to Dellavedova. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it go from 11. And he gets it to go. Thompson's got his first points of the night. They play the clock right, Steve. They go 2 for 1.
Yeah, just have to time it right. Make sure you work the clock correctly and get 2 possessions out of it.
Now here's Heinrich. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Gasol setting the pick for Heinrich. Shot clock at 6. To the middle. Here's Marion, and he was fouled on the way out. 2 free throws now for him.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
You know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
And he's got his first free throw of the game.
And as a 78% foul shooter last season, he was steady at the line.
Heinrich against Miller. Here's Mirotic, and James pulls it down. LeBron's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
He's done a lot of good work with the ball. Really moving both the ball and moving bodies, getting quality chances at the hoop.
And they're not wasting chances when they get it. I mean, they're hitting their shot.
And so the first quarter wrap. What have they been doing or not doing?
And they've done a nice job here offensively to establish a rhythm and a pace to this game.
And I like that they're finding ways to score. Playing well here, Steve.
On the floor for Cleveland, getting going here in the second. Irving and Waiters, the guards. Tristan Thompson is out there with Kevin Love. And it's Marion in at the small forward. No good from Irving.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close. And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality. If the shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything, moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
Trips down the breakaway slam.
Agility leads to thievery there as he's got his hand in there to get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
Plays like that are telling the story of this game for me so far. They cannot afford to hand over any more easy points like that.
And here they go. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. That's on Joakim Noah. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And the fact that they're playing well close to the hoop, finding points in the paint, I mean, they've got it all going tonight.
Anderson Varejão's checked in for Tristan Thompson.
You know, the Bulls' offense was not that great last year. As a matter of fact, they struggled to score. But when they did get to 100 points, they were one of the best teams in the league.
Heinrich against Waiters. The dish to Irving. Pass to Marion. Just 5 on the clock. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. And the Cavaliers lead by 16. As you said with the Bulls, a 22-2 record last season when they got to 100 points.
Well, it's a perfect example of how dominant their defense is. I mean, if they got to 100, they knew they could count on their D every single night. But getting to 100 was the problem. They did not score very easily. It was almost like he was surprised to be that wide open, yet he knocked it down. quickly turned into another nightmare season. Finally returning from that torn ACL in the 2012 playoffs, he managed only 10 games before tearing the meniscus in his other knee. Just devastating. We obviously hope that Rose can come back and put in a full season.
2 minutes now played in the second quarter. McDermott gives to Miritich. McDermott with the screen for Miritich. Offensive rebound. Noah. So the whistle blows on the shot. 2 free throws for the contact right there. This is his first free throw of the game.
His foul shots at about a 74% clip last season.
Well, you take a look at Rose, who was extremely patient trying to get back to being on the court, and then he fell victim to another devastating knee injury. Terrific blow for him personally, and certainly for the team and the city. But fortunately, the surgery did manage to keep all of his meniscus, which provides a better prognosis as we move forward.
And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Here's Noah. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Knicks in New York.
And he did some nice work on the boards too, Kevin. That was definitely a factor in that game as well.
Miritich dishes to McDermott. 11 feet away. It's rebounded by Cleveland. Marion's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. And Steve, now for Derrick Rose. How will his game adapt to having surgery now on both knees?
Well, he might not be quite as explosive, and maybe that's a good thing if his breakneck style was too much for his Giants. But the mental side of it, that's what I look at. I mean, after missing basically 2 whole seasons, how is he going to bounce back?
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, as we all know, LeBron James is now back in Cleveland, but he thinks his time in Miami will serve him well. As he said, Miami for me has been like college for other kids. I became a better player and a better man. I learned from a franchise that had been where I wanted to go. Kevin?
He knows what it takes to win it all, Doris. Now he's trying to do it back home in Ohio. Thanks. A little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. From 12 feet out, and the Cavaliers get another bucket right there. For Chicago, they won their last contest that game against the Knicks in New York. Over to the wing. Heinrich kicks to Rose. Here's McDermott.
You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backcourt.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Coach. Their rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
Moving against Heinrich. And he sinks that one in the back of the rim on the way in. 9 points for Kyrie Irving. Bulls trail by 19. Pass to Miritich. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
Cleveland's gone to 3-point range 7 times tonight, knocked down 5 of them. Irving against Rose. Stolen by Rose. Here's Heinrich. Second chance effort. Misses from short range.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
Waiters with the ball. He's picked up by Heinrich. Shots good by Waiters.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
Heinrich with it. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. The pump fake kept the D off balance and gave him room.
Starting to get a little momentum here after that scoreless first quarter.
Last outing for Chicago. They won that game against New York. Kicks it to Love. Love right side. Back to Irving. Goes back up. And that is good. Irving's got 9 points now in the quarter.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Heinrich passes to Noah. Left side Rose. Heinrich is screen on Irving. Rose attacking. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Well, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. His teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
Here's Marion. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got his 4th assist in this one.
Just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Cleveland ahead, opening up a huge gap. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I've got Coach Tom Thibodeau. And Coach, we've heard you talk a lot about core balance. Is that a focus for the team in the second half?
Yeah, we got to get back to just playing some defense, see if we can get some easy baskets, and then we get into half-court offense. We got to get some ball movement, player movement.
Tom, appreciate it. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you for the great interview, Doris. We'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
He's got 11 points and 4 assists.
D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. McDermott and Gasol, the duo with the forward. And it's Noah in at the 5, home in the paint. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Yeah, the defender draped all over.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
Cleveland shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
Well, Anderson Varejao staying relatively healthy last season. That's to say he only missed 17 games. That's a far cry from his previous 3 seasons where he played a total of just 81 games.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau worked with Clippers coach Doc Rivers in Boston for many years, and they remain close friends, often sharing notes. Rivers said of Thibodeau, "He's the best mind I've ever been around. People keep expecting them to fall, but he holds them together. It's his system, but it's more just his way. He simply doesn't relent, Kevin."
He makes his players believe, Doris. That's something they both share in common. Thank you. And Varejao, Steve, has shown flashes of all-star caliber production at the center position. It's been his injuries that have really held him back.
Yeah, it's good to see him able to remain on the court for most of the season, man. Tough year for the Cavs last year, record-wise, but Varejao, for him, a step in the right direction health-wise.
Clock at 4. James with the bucket.
One aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
Agreed. I mean, look at the points. I mean, they're getting a lot of baskets off of assists, and the offense is really clicking here.
Time called here, and the Bulls decide to talk it over. And LeBron asked who would be on his Mount Rushmore of NBA greats, Steve. He went with Larry. He went with Michael Jordan and Oscar Robertson.
Well, you got to feel like he probably sort of associate himself with the Big O. The big body, the strength, versatility. That's what Oscar was all about. That's what LeBron is all about. So nice to see LeBron's recognition of that era of the NBA.
Hard to argue with those selections. He also said he better be up there too. I would agree with that.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. Derrick Rose was the focus of the discussion. He wants their offense to run through him. When Coach addressed the guys in the huddle, his message was clear. Quote, "He's who we want getting the bulk of the touches. He is who we want making our decisions." The other thing he stressed was the need to be disciplined on offense. He asked for good ball movement and good shot selection. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
All right, Doris, thanks. That's good. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Here's Rose. He's got 10. He kicks it to Dunlap. Shot clock at 6. No good from Gibson.
They've shown effort and aggression in the paint right from the tip. They're rebounding edge is impressive.
Now, I'll tell you what, they've turned a lot of those rebounds into points at the other end.
The drive by James. No luck. Some solid defense from Rose. For Chicago, they've gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, a tough shooting slump for Jimmy Butler last season. Some injuries took him out of rhythm, and he's asked to play a bigger role offensively after Luol Deng was traded. Still, he's become one of the premier defensive players in the league.
Miller's checked in for the Cavaliers. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for Dion Waiters. LeBron outside. Pass to Miller. Lets it go with a 3. That's good. Miller's got 9. And Jimmy Butler, a fan favorite in Chicago, taken with the 30th pick, caught back in 2011. And he really is a tenacious defender.
Yeah, he's a tough-minded, scrappy player. I mean, you hear about his tough upbringing. It's easy to see why he approaches the game with that fearlessness and determination that he plays with.
And here's Cleveland. They're on a 13-5 run. Irving dishes to Dellavedova. He feeds it to LeBron. 11 feet away, and there's another one for the Cavaliers.
Boy, they look helpless defensively.
And Chicago shooting 40% from the field. Rose kicks to Dunleavy. Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession. You need to be aware of this. If you don't want your pocket picked, here are last season's steals leaders. You look at Butler. Opposing teams always need to know where he is on the court.
You know, there's no luck involved in being amongst the league leaders in steals. You've got to combine the toughness with the ability to move your feet and the tenacity in going after the ball.
And it's Gasol penetrating.
All game long, guys, he's been getting it done. Really doing a nice job rebounding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they've had a major advantage on the glass, dominating that stack.
Irving kicks to Miller from past the arc. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Gibson's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Rose passes to Gibson. Back to Rose. Butler on the wing. On the corner. Yes. And it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got 3 assists now in this one.
Cavs tried to make a push for the playoffs last season, in a way going against the grain, but instead a disappointing season when it was all over. Coach and front office questioning the team's effort level.
1:09 left here in the third quarter. They set the pick. The pass to Butler. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Dunleavy kicks to Rose. Just 5 on the clock. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Derrick Rose, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, now playing for his hometown Bulls. He became a partner and endorser for Chicago's top deep dish pizza chain. He does represent this town.
Mirotic is checked in for the Bulls. Heinrich comes in for Mike Dunleavy. Anderson Varejão's checked in for Cleveland. Marion comes in for Kyrie Irving. Thompson, a screen on Butler. And it's Miller penetrating. And Gibson sends it back. And they get it back. For Cleveland, they have missed 4 of their 8 free throws up to this point. Things not really going their way at the line yet. He misses the free throw. So for the Bulls, Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gibson. And McDermott subbed in for Rose. 2 seconds separate the shot clock and game. Myers, high post. Nice shot by McDermott. McDermott's got his first points of the game.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
Here's Dellavedova, guarded by Heinrich. Here's Marion. Drains it from beyond the arc. Marion's got 9.
And another 3-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been bombs away ever since.
All-time assist of the game. Today, Steve, it's a big man winning the honor.
And it was a no-brainer. This assist was really out of this world. I mean, he had a great understanding of the situation and where the ball had to go.
And Cleveland looking at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. They've got Marion. Miller is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. Then it's Malcolm Thomas. And it's Haywood in at the center position. Dellavedova kicks to Miller.
You know, there are around 150 current NBA players with D-League experience. The developmental league, which started back in 2001 with 8 teams, now has 18. And the structure has changed a little bit over the years, but I think you have to say that the D-League has become a big success for the NBA.
Here's Brooks. It's rebounded by Cleveland. Miller inside, guarded by Heinrich. And there's Miller. That's good on the assist by Haywood.
You know, regardless of who starts the break, it seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run. And, you know, this season the Knicks, the Pistons, and the Magic are acquiring single affiliation with D-League teams, and that seems to be a trend. The Knicks and Pistons moving close to White Plains, New York, and Grand Rapids, Michigan, respectively, looking to develop players within their system and get them back and forth quickly from their D-League assignments. Makes sense and looks to be moving towards more of the Major League Baseball.
And there's the defensive 3-second call. And of the 18 D-League teams, 15 are in single affiliation, Steve, with one NBA team. About half of those owned outright by their parent ball club.
Well, it's moving in that direction, Kevin, a place to develop talent and test out new methods. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see every NBA team with their own D-League affiliate before long.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Here's Stowe. He's checked in for Noah. And Dudley, he's subbed in for Kirk Heinrich. Lucas dishes to Jones.
Big story from last year was that the NBA finally was able to come to an agreement with the Silva brothers. They were owners from the ABA who had a huge stake in the media rights of the NBA.
The finish. The fast break ends at the rim with the jam.
Well, they're winning the speed game, guys, getting out in transition.
Well, I like the energy they play with offensively, and in the open court, tremendous flow.
Here's Snell. The feed to Brooks. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Well, the Silva brothers out of St. Louis, they own the St. Louis franchise, and when the ABA and NBA merged, they cut a deal to get about 2% of the NBA's TV revenue with no end in sight.
And Kevin, one of the greatest deals in the history of deal making across all industries is that deal the Silva brothers were able to cut, but it has finally been negotiated away. And with the way the NBA has become a global phenomenon with television across the globe, that was the best deal, as I just said, ever made. I'm happy they were able to put a cap on that deal for the owners that are now in the NBA.
And I'd like to make the announcement now. We're changing our names. That's Clark Silva. I'm Kevin Silva. Goodbye, everybody. Here's Dellavedova. Feeds it to Thomas. And he drops it in from the low post. Bulls have gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the fourth quarter. Brooks outside. Dishes at Demiritic. 3-pointer. Here's Stowe. That's tipped. Out left of the wing. Unleaving pitch to Brooks. Bulls moving the ball around. Here's Mirotic. Missed it. Even after all those chances.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
Dellavedova, the pass to Haywood. Here's Snell. He dishes it to Mirotic. Shoots the 3. Another shot. Good work defensively by Jones. Cavaliers have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the fourth so far. It's been a great start to this final quarter for them. A A minute 42 left in the fourth quarter. There's the bucket. Good. Jones has got 7 points here in this quarter.
Time to turn out the lights on this game.
I think they deserve a ton of credit for the way they played here today. Truly a professional display.
Brooks dishes to Dunley. Here's Bairstow. Haywood covering the baseline J. That one wide left. And here are the Cavaliers. They're on a 16-7 run.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just total obliteration. I'd safely say mission accomplished now for Cleveland.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today. You know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
This is really going to be a good win. They've proven they know how to attack this team, and I think it's important to establish that against a conference opponent.
I agree, because they're going to get together 3 more times this season. Love to get an opponent figured out early, when you're going to see them that often.
Fantastic show put on. What an amazing game all around it was for James. He's doing everything right, and the points seem to come in bunches. He definitely had the hot hand.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Outside, Jones. Shot clock at 6. 11 feet out, and he hits it.
And the crowd here, of course, not happy about the outcome. But you know what? We saw a team tonight that came in prepared to do battle on the road, and they clearly wanted to win.
You know, they were determined to steal this game, and they showed it. Steve played harder and got the job done.
An unusual skill set for a big man. A long-range shot gives you such good spacing offensively. They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
And so it's Cleveland taking care of business in this one. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night. These guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
And now, down to Doris Burke, who is courtside, standing by with our Jordan player of the game. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Congratulations, LeBron, on this win. What were the contributing factors you played tonight?
Offensively, we moved the ball, and everyone was involved. And defensively, try to get as many stops as possible. We was able to do it.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
Thank you, Doris, for that. And now for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying, see you next time, as we present our Jordan player of the game, LeBron James.